everyone, I'm here with an Australian author by the name Ursula Dubosarsky. Say hello.
Hi everyone.
Yes, recently she has just written a new book, published by...
Penguin. It won't be published till May next year.
Okay, next year in May, this will be out for sale. It's called The Terrible Plop.
And it's illustrated by a man called Andrew Joyner.
Yes, Andrew Joyner. Unfortunately, he couldn't come here today. So, first the obvious question, what's with all these animals?
Well, you see, The Terrible Plop, it's a book in verse, it's in rhyme, and it's about a lot of animals. It's got all these animals and more inside it. It starts off with rabbits, as you can see, the rabbits. But then, and what happens is the rabbits are sitting there enjoying themselves eating a carrot.
I thought it was chocolate cake.
And chocolate cake. And they hear the sound, this terrible plop. Plop. And they get very scared, and so they run through the jungle and they tell everybody else about the terrible plop. And so, well, not really the jungle, I suppose you'd call it the forest. So all the animals, you know, the elephant and the tiger and the fox and the bat and the monkey, I wonder where my monkey is, all come running out of the forest. And it's actually, so it's all about panic, mass panic, I guess. Perhaps you would like to ask a question.
So, I see the bear there. What role does the bear have?
Yes, well I suppose you would say in the end the two main characters are the rabbit and the bear. There's the bear. Because when they get to see the bear and they tell the bear all about what's going on. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find the right picture. My book is coming to pieces. You know, there's the bear holding up the rabbit and saying, what's all this about a plop? And are you saying the plop is, you know, more scary than me, and why are you sort of going on about the plop? I want to go and find this plop and you've got to show me where the plop is. So, you know, the bear and the rabbit go back to the lake to find the terrible plop. So it's actually, so you've got the big scary bear and the little frightened rabbit. It's actually based on a myth or a legend,
What kind of?
perhaps a traditional tale from a country called Tibet.
So it's a Tibetan myth.
It is, or Chinese, I suppose, as well. It probably exists in China as well, because they're very near each other, Tibet and China. And I have seen it written as a Chinese myth. And look, there are versions of this kind of myth all around the world. You've probably heard of Henny Penny, you know, the one who thinks the sky is falling in. It's a sort of, they're classified as mass hysteria legends.
Yes.
So it's a mass hysteria legend. But I've kind of adapted it. I don't really quite follow the Tibetan myth to a T. I make my own little changes. My ending is just a bit different.
So are there any future productions for the Terrible Plop?
Yes, well, it's very exciting. Well, a few exciting things have happened. The Terrible Plop is not yet published in Australia, but already it's going to be published in the United States.
Wow.
And already it's going to be published in the United Kingdom, which is fine.
A lot of you people will soon be seeing the Terrible Plop.
Yeah, that is exciting. And the other exciting thing is next May there's going to be a musical play version.
Wow.
That's going to be put on by the Windmill Theatre in Adelaide. And they've actually given the Terrible Plop even a whole new name.
And what is that name?
Plop!
Plop.
So, Plop, the musical. Watch out for it. So they're the exciting things about the Terrible Plop.
Where is Plop going to be held at? Just Adelaide?
Not only Adelaide, but I notice it's also touring to Canberra, our nation's capital, and Brisbane.
Wow.
The fabulous sunny city that is the capital of Queensland.
And nearby Brisbane is Gold Coast.
There is, yes. So perhaps we could have a Plop, the theme park. That could be good. You know, instead of everyone's sick of Wet and Wild World and Dream World, you can have Plop World.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I'm very ambitious for the plop.
So, how were the drawings of the Terrible Plop made?
Yes, well look, Andrew is very clever. He could tell you more about it, I suppose, but for example, you see here all the drawings of the rabbits, and there's the chocolate cake, and he actually got, it's like a piece of collage, so he actually got a picture of a chocolate cake, I think in a woman's weekly cookbook, for those little bunnies to eat, and he's done that, and I think so, and he's done it here as well. When you look at the bear, let me find a good, yeah, it was actually, this is also a kind of collage. He sort of scanned a jacket. He's got this jacket. It's in this sort of funny sort of fake fur, and he scanned it. And so after he did the drawing, he would then sort of fill it in with the jacket. So that's why the bear looks kind of nice and furry. And there's a few other little bits of collage here and there like that. But basically, you know, so there you can see a nice close-up of the bear, and you can see there's a glass from an old book that he's collaged in as well. But they're very, I think they're very beautiful. I think they're just great. They're very happy and funny and touching and energetic. Because I think in a picture book, energy, you know, I guess, you know, there's all sorts of picture books obviously, and they're sort of quiet, gentle, sort of sleepy picture books, but I do myself, I guess when I'm looking for picture books, or when, you know, for when I was reading to my children and things like that, there's something wonderful about an energetic picture book. And I must say I have, even though this book hasn't come out yet, yes, that's Piglet. My friend Sarah gave me this Piglet, so unfortunately Piglet lost his ears, but he's being the pig in the story. Yes, we have a cat, and we have a leopard, we have a bat, I'm very pleased with my bat, we have a rather lovely looking fox, elephant, tiger, you can see a rabbit, and of course this is this beautiful rabbit that I got through the internet. It came in a little box, and I popped him out with his little rabbit friend. They are adorable, because the little rabbit is the hero. Unfortunately, I haven't yet got myself a great big bear, because you see the thing about the bear is he's got to be big, and he's got to be, but the problem is when you go looking for bears in shops or on the internet and things like that, an awful lot of bears are sort of cute. They're like babies, and they've got these sweet faces, and that, you know, I don't want my bear to be positively horrible, but he's not sort of, he can't look like a cute little fat baby, which many bears do. So I'm having a few problems getting a suitable bear, but I think I might have tracked one down at Taronga Zoo. There's one called a sun bear, and I think it would be reasonably large. It's not huge, but I don't want anything too huge, because if I go into schools and things, I have to carry them around, so, you know, I don't want to have to wheel in a trolley for them. But what I was going to say is it's a great pleasure when you've got a very energetic picture book. I've read it aloud to various school groups, and it's just such a pleasure, you know, when it's got that amount of energy, that it makes it very, very easy for a large group of children to enjoy. And I think the rhyme helps that, and Andrew's pictures have got this comic energy as well as the emotion that I think is fantastic for the story. So we're very excited about it.
That's great.
Thank you.
Do you have any other picture books planned? Any rhyming picture books?
Well, I would love to write another one, and I'm thinking all the time. I've sort of started one, but you know, you just, it's funny, you kind of, it's hard to find exactly the right idea, and in a way, if you're looking for it, I think when I found the myth of the Terrible Plop on the internet, I wasn't specifically, you know, going around looking what can I write a picture book about. Do you know what I mean? Like when I read it, I realised, gosh, this would be perfect.
Any final words?
If people see the Terrible Plop, or if they're lucky enough to see Plop the musical, or go to Plop the theme park, that they have a great time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye. Now, Bruni, you've got to show it to me before you put it.